So going back to the sort of SIMS piece and the Montagu. So Montagu they obviously bought SIMS now. Well, they're about to, depending on some of the regulatory things, and also bought ParentPay. How do you see that working? Where do you see them combining them? Because I know we've had a conversation before where eventually things like comms and payments will just sink into either a parental engagement product or into the MIS. Where do you see this now coming? What do you think the benefits are, and where do you see this working in this collaboration together?
Well, if I'd been in charge of SIMS, I would have been trying to acquire ParentPay because it's got a very large footprint. I think they've done very well to acquire SIMS. The reason I think it's significant is I do think the holistic solutions are the answer, and all this exchange of data into little pools of data everywhere is just unmanageable. And there are certain things which I know ParentPay doesn't do particularly well, so it doesn't do staff payments particularly well. I think SIMS Pay actually probably does a better job in some respects, but of course it's tied into Capita's payment systems. So immediately releasing the payments back office to ParentPay would make sense. I think they've got some very strong software there. They've got opportunities abroad, so I think the overseas market is quite underdeveloped, so I think there's a possibility there. I was surprised to see ParentPay being the parent, if you like, but I mean, I'm pleased that SIMS has been sold, because clearly something has not been going right at Capita for some time. I don't buy it wasn't strategic for us, so we sold it. I think that was more, we've got a gigantic hole in the balance sheet, and SIMS is about the only thing that stands a chance of just putting a finger in the dike. So I don't buy the story of why they sold SIMS, but I am pleased that somebody has bought it. And certainly I've spoken recently to one of the guys at ParentPay, very smart individual, knows what he's doing. So I'm quite hopeful that they'll be able to put the things right that have been going wrong over the last 4-5 years.
Yeah, I think the nice thing is that they've been, the people who are in charge in ParentPay have been in the education market for a while. I think it should give customers confidence that at least the steering of the ship is going to go in the right direction. I think that's really positive.
I would think so.
Yeah.
Going back to your point of, I think there is a need to produce a single product for parents to make payments, to get information about attendance and all the rest of it. And if you're inside the tent with SIMS, you've got a far better chance of producing a good solution. I mean, the size of the SIMS marketplace is such that you'd have to make those interfaces available to everybody else, but everybody else would be, if you like, on the back foot slightly, because for a long time they've been collecting data through Wand or whatever, and they probably won't want to invest in a direct link into SIMS, which will then mean they've still got pools of data. So if I was ParentPay, I would be strengthening the links into the MIS. Clearly, they've got links with every other MIS, and that will be an interesting problem for them, because probably other MIS suppliers will be less happy to partner with them for fear of losing custom elsewhere. So I think too early to say what's going to happen. I look forward with interest to see what does happen.
Yeah, it's definitely a new chapter for SIMS, and actually a much more positive outlook, I think, than where it was previously, for sure. I mean,
I say again, for many years, Capita was a fantastic home for SIMS. They allowed us to invest, and yes, they challenged us. And I'm sure that the new owners of SIMS will challenge the management of SIMS to make certain it's performing properly, and there'll have to be a drains up on the engineering side of things.
Yeah, for sure.